Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name's Madeline. Whoa, cherry slush will get you. I am going to be doing a June roundup, so every book that I read in the month of June. It's a little late, it is July 4th today when I'm recording. Wearing little red, white, and blue. Very patriotic of me, very festive. So let's get into it. I read 7 books in the month of June, which the last one is kind of cheating because I finished it the last couple days of July, but I started it in June and I really want to talk about it, so it's going to be in this June roundup. But the first book I read in the month of June, okay, horrible glare, but Binding 13. Before I get into this, it made me laugh because, okay, the glare is real on this, but it made me laugh because I saw a girl on TikTok be like, this book indeed is not about firefighters, because the lighting on the book makes it kind of look like firefighters, even though you can't see it because of the glare. But this was a thick boy. But honestly, it was worth every single page read. Oh my gosh. Am I okay? The first like 75-ish pages were a little slow for me, but keeping that in mind, this book was a 4.5 star for me, which I'm trying to be a little bit more picky on how I rate my things, but I absolutely loved this, devoured it within a couple of days. The paperback version is like 600 pages, but I think on my Kindle it was like 750 or something like that. But I absolutely loved this so much that I had to read Keeping 13 next, which I read on my Kindle because I actually just got Binding 13. My sister and her husband were kind enough to buy this for me, but I'm going to get the whole collection because I definitely want to read the other 2 books in the series that I have not read yet. But I then read Keeping 13, which I loved even more than the first book. It's just, the first book leaves you on a bit of a cliffhanger, so I immediately had to read Keeping 13. It was such a fast read for me. That one, Kindle version, is like 950 or something like that. Like, it's really, really long. I actually think that might be the longest book I've ever read. But I read it in like 2 days. So if that tells you how good it is, in my opinion, it literally, Keeping 13, there was never a lull in the reading for me. Like, every single chapter was entertaining to me. I wanted to continuously read it. I really loved the family aspect in Keeping 13. Like, Johnny's family is just everything, and I loved reading that. And overall, just like the main characters, Shannon and Johnny, are a couple of my favorite characters I've read about in a really, really long time. But the side characters also made the book. Like, Johnny's best friend Gibbsy is everything to me. Like, he is so funny. I hope we get a book on him at a future date, but I absolutely just loved these books. I cannot wait to read Saving Six, which is about Shannon's brother Joey. The only reason I haven't really read it yet is because I just love Shannon and Johnny so much. I'm not sure I'm ready to continue that series with different characters. And it kind of confuses me because it like goes back in time to like the beginning of Joey's life, even though in Binding 13 and Keeping 13 it was him like as a teenager. So I'm interested, but also that part is kind of holding me back from reading it. So we'll see. Maybe in my July roundup, Saving Six will make the cut. Then I read Happy Place by Emily Henry, which I think I talked about these in my mid-year roundup, so there might be a little bit of overlap on these. Definitely my favorite book that I've read by her thus far. I've only read Beach Read and People We Meet on Vacation. Those are the only other 2 books I've read by her so far. Really want to read Book Lovers because people say like that's their favorite book out of her book she's written. So definitely on my never-ending TBR. I loved the main setting. I talked about this in my mid-year roundup that I had just got back from Cape Cod when I was reading it, and so it was really fun for me to read like the same vibe of like the setting I was in. I really loved the friendship aspect in that book, and I don't read a lot of second chance romances, so that it was like a fun book to read for me. I enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars, 4.25 maybe. Not totally a 5 just because it wasn't like my favorite book I've ever read, but I enjoyed it. Would recommend. Then I read What Happens After Midnight by K.L. Walther. Or Walter? Is it Walter? Walther? I don't know. I thought it was Walther, but then I heard another creator say Walter, so now I'm confused. But anyways, same author as The Summer of Broken Rules, and I loved The Summer of Broken Rules. I didn't so much love this one. I think I rated this 3 stars. This one was a little bit slower for me. I kind of had to not force myself to pick it up, but there was never really a moment where I was like, I have to keep reading, like I'm like want to keep flipping the pages. YA romance. It's about these kids who go to a boarding school essentially, but they're in high school, and there's a jester each year who essentially is in charge of their like senior prank, but the entire senior class doesn't join in on the senior prank. The jester like picks people to help him or her do the prank, and nobody's supposed to know who the jester is. Nobody's supposed to know who helps the jester. And this book is all about, it follows Lily and Tag. I was like, he has a weird name. Tag. Tag is the jester. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. No, I don't think that's a spoiler. It just follows the book of them. She helps Tag, who's the jester, pull off this prank, and Tag is actually her ex-boyfriend, and so having to be in close quarters with him, it's just kind of essentially, I guess this is a second chance romance as well. So, I don't know, I gave it 3 stars. I was really excited to read this after loving Summer of Broken Rules, but ended up just not loving this one as much. I would say you could probably skip this one unless you're really into YAs, then maybe try this one. Then I read Reckless by Elsie Silver, which is the 4th installment in the Chestnut Spring series. The first 3 books in that series, I believe I gave 3 stars. Yeah, like I enjoyed them. Would recommend if you wanted that certain type of romance. The first one follows one of the brothers, Rhett, I think, Rhett and Summer, who he is in the rodeo, I guess. Like he's a bull rider. And then the second book follows another brother, Cade, and Willa, which is Summer's best friend. And then the third book follows, not that you guys care, but I'm just giving some background information. Then the third one's about a hockey player, about a boy who grew up with the brothers. So then this one is about Theo and Winter. Winter is Summer's sister, like a strange sister kind of. And then Theo is Rhett's protege. I actually need to look up what that word means. Yeah, so Theo is Rhett's protege. Am I saying that right? Anyways, Rhett mentors Theo. I don't know why I could have just said that from the beginning. In bull riding. So Theo just had me smiling the entire book. He was just like everything I feel like you want in a boyfriend. He just slightly protective, but not over the top, like very present in every moment that he is with Winter, and I just loved it. I do have to say, one thing I love about the Chestnut Spring series is all the text dialogue at the beginning of each chapter. It's usually like 4 or 5 strings of text between some of the characters. It kind of changes each book or each chapter, but I really like reading that. It's just like a fun element to me. I think this is my favorite book in the series. I think I may have said that already, but if not, I definitely enjoyed this one the most. I believe I gave this one 4 stars. And then I read The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, which it's tricky for me because this one was really, really hyped up by quite a few people around me. My mom read it, my sister read it, I had a couple friends read it, and everybody gave it 5 stars. 4 or 5 stars. So I was really, really excited to read it. And I will say I came away from it feeling a little bit underwhelmed. Like, I read the last page of the book and I was like, that's what happened. I think, though, I felt that way because I have already read The Last Mrs. Parrish, and these books are very, very similar. There are key differences that, like, differentiate them, but overall, I think, like, the theme of the books were too comparable for me to really feel like, wow, on this one. So I don't think I'll read the second one. There is a second one, The Housemaid, and then what's the second one called? The Housemaid's Secret. I will not be reading because I think I rated this 3 stars. Just like, it was entertaining. It kept me entertained as I was reading it. It's not like I was like, I had to pick this up. Like, I don't want to read it, because it was interesting because of the differences. I don't know. It just reminded me too much of The Last Mrs. Parrish. So that's that. And then the 7th and final book that I read in June/July was Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yaros. And this book, I have so many thoughts, but I'm going to keep it short because I know a lot of people probably haven't read it yet, and I don't want to give away any spoilers. But this is making me want to read. Like, I feel like I'm in my fantasy era right now, but I need to not read any more fantasy until I've fully digested Fourth Wing. I finished it a couple days ago, and it's literally been all I can think about all day, every day. This book was 5 stars, first of all. Quite possibly one of the best books I have read, dare I say, ever. It's like ACOTAR is like here and Fourth Wing is like here. The only reason they're not even is because we have 5 books in the ACOTAR series right now, and I only have 1 book in the Fourth Wing. I cannot wait for Iron Flame to come out in November. Like, I need it now, and I need like 5 more books at the same time. Like, I already know that once I finish Iron Flame, I'm gonna be feeling the way that I am right now, where I need the next book right now. So I really hope that she does what she did with Fourth Wing and Iron Flame and only have like 5 months between. But I guess I don't know when Fourth Wing came out, probably like a month ago. So like 6 months between the books. Like, I really hope she doesn't make us wait as long as Sarah J. Maas is making us wait for the next installment in the ACOTAR series. I literally, I don't want to, I don't know. I'm just like literally so obsessed with it. I've never read about dragons before, which was very fun to read about. I literally was like live texting my sister because she was reading it at the same time as me, but like a little bit ahead of me. So everything I was reading, she had already read. And I was literally texting her. I was like, I want my own dragon. Like, I want to bond with a dragon. She was laughing at me. I had to immediately read another book after this that was just kind of fluff, because I knew if I didn't immediately pick up a book, I would fall into a depression and a serious book slump, because just like nothing I've read lately has made me feel a type of way that Fourth Wing has. So I'm literally obsessed. I cannot recommend this book enough. If you have not read it, please go buy it. I have already pre-ordered Iron Flame, and I ordered Fourth Wing in the hardcover, but it's like back ordered until like the middle of July. But I need these on my bookshelf, so I wish I had the stenciled Edges one. Those are just so beautiful, but they're gone. They're like sold out everywhere unless you want to pay like $500 for it. So I don't know. Hopefully one day I can get my hands on a stenciled edge. But this will definitely go down as probably one of my favorite series. I just can like already predict that. Like, I know how much love I have for ACOTAR, and I know it's going to be just as much for, what is it, Emperor, me? Stop, like, butchering this. Emperin? Emperin? I don't know how you say the series, but I already know it's going to be amazing. Also, just to, like, tell you how many people love this book, 170,000 people have reviewed this book on Goodreads, and it has a 4.68 review or star rating. I have literally never seen a book have that many reviews and that high of a rating. So, I have so many thoughts on, like, what little things mean in the book. Like, I can't wait to get my physical copy so that I can like highlight and annotate it, because I just like have so many thoughts. I've never felt the need to annotate a book before, but I know I'm going to want to do this with this one so that I can kind of dissect it, and I don't know. I have so many theories though, and watching TikToks on Fourth Wing is so fun because people are so creative and smart when it comes to theories that it's just like super fun to listen to them. I send my sister like 9 a day. Also the fan art is really cool for Fourth Wing too. But those are the books that I read in July. Those are the books that I read in June, 7 of them. I hope that I read more in July. We will see. But I'm happy with 7. I feel like that's a good pace. I am currently reading Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. Obviously that's to come in my July roundup, but I just need to keep going so I don't get in a slump. I'm like almost there. I'm like slumping, but like trying to like crawl myself out. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one.